This is Kari Lake. She ran for governor in Arizona. She lost. She has not accepted defeat. She's taken a page out of the Trump playbook of like, nuh-uh. And here's her saying some crazy stuff.
We're going to win this, guys.
No, you're not, because you already lost this. You're not going to win this. You've already lost. You could try again, but you already lost.
We're going to find out what everyone's made of in our state.
I'm going to say flesh, blood, some bones, sinews, things like that.
We're going to find out who the corrupt ones are.
You. It's you. Surprise, it's me.
Good guys are.
Not you. There are no good guys, unfortunately. I wish there were. I wish there were good guys. Unfortunately, in this system, with these capitalistic incentives being omnipresent, unfortunately, it doesn't pay to not be corrupt. So pretty much any politician, whether they represent the Republican Party or the Democrat Party, are all corrupt. Now, that's not to say that both sides are perfectly equal. I don't believe that. I think people who say that really are undermining the truth, which is that, yeah, they're not, because now, if you say both political parties are exactly the same, then all someone has to do to totally dismiss you is find one thing that they're different on. One little thing, and it's like, no, look at this. Which is why I like the more precise language of saying they are not meaningfully distinctive on the vast majority of important issues. That's not to say there are not some issues where one side says this, one side says that, and they actually back it up with some legislation and stuff. But you know what it is? It's all the social issues. Now, the social issues can be tremendously consequential for us, for you and for me and for anybody watching this. But you know who they're not tremendously consequential for is the billionaire class or the military-industrial complex. Doesn't matter to them at all. All of that stuff. When it comes to what corporate America wants and what the military-industrial complex wants, it seems like the two political parties that we have a choice between, it seems like they are virtually goddamn identical. But then you have these social issues where they really try to make a distinction between themselves, where, you have all of this, you have Republicans passing child labor laws. You have Republicans passing laws against transgender athletes and trans people using the bathroom they want, and banning books from schools, and banning discussions of America's fraught racial history from schools, and things of that nature. And, these social issues, tremendously consequential to everyday people in this country, but not at all consequential to billionaires, not at all consequential to Wall Street, not at all consequential to the Dow Jones, not at all consequential to the military or any of the entrenched foreign powers that have their spindly little fingers in America's treasure chest. So basically, this is a divide and conquer strategy that's been employed against us.
Who cares deeply and believes in God, and I have complete faith in that. And I'm not going to stop fighting. I'm not going to stop fighting. So I want you to know.
Good. Yeah, you're not going to stop fighting for yourself and your own career, and for your, for the day that you can join the vaunted insider class. I will not stop fighting to entrench my own power. I will not stop fighting until I too have joined the elite club. Because she can't be in the elite club. She's on the periphery of it. But if she actually becomes a governor, then she's in. And she's letting you know, I'm not going to stop fighting till I'm in. But she's got to make it seem like a noble pursuit. She's got to convince all these chuckle in her audience that, like, oh, wow, yeah, she's fighting for me. No, she's not. She's a politician. She don't give a rat's ass about you. She's fighting for her. That's who she's fighting for. Don't forget it.
So please continue to pray.
And wasn't she like a Democrat until like 5 minutes ago? When did she become a conservative again? Didn't she do this whole like lame, like, I left the left things? And now she's like, I am the purest of pure believers.
Pray. Not just for a victory here, a court ruling here, a positive outcome there. Pray for the bigger prayer.
Like she's holding that Bible. If you're going to hold the Bible as a prop, which every politician at some point or another has pretty much done, hold it with some oomph. At one point, she was literally holding it like between two fingers. She was holding it like the way that a vampire that's slightly hurt by it would hold it. You know what I mean? Like she's like, and this book right here is so important. You know, it's like, why are you holding it like that then? Hold it with a solid, firm grip, like the Bible. Come on.
An end to corruption, a restoration of God's glory, and a restoration of our God-given rights.
Uh-huh. So I don't know. That was basically just a bunch of Republican gobbledygook bullshit. I mean, I managed to have a good rant in it, but the rant was almost unrelated to it, just prompted by it. Nonetheless, when this comes out as a clip, I'm sure it will be titled something like Kari Lake inspires insane rant, or Kari Lake's insane rant inspires my insane rant. I don't know. Something along those lines. I don't know if they ever had a major disagreement outside of TJ voted and Paul doesn't. TJ never fundamentally disagreed with Paul on that. Yeah, I think that's the thing. Is like, I don't know that Paul ever understood my reasons for voting, but or maybe he did. I don't know. He tried to persuade me that it was pointless to vote, but I mean, I feel like it's also pointless to not vote. I feel like, as far as that's concerned, my point of view is that both parties are virtually identical, and that they use social wedge issues to divide us. But I also think that they're willing to drive, someone off a cliff. They're willing to drive you off a cliff. Like if you're a trans person and you think that like it's all a bunch of idle threats about your like rights and humanity, it's not. They are willing to make you suffer to maintain their power. That is not, that's not, I mean, so I'm not going to knowingly, like if I'm going to look at a situation of like, here's the social issues represented by this party and here's the social issues represented by this party, I'm going to choose the one, like the Democrats really aren't doing much to help trans people because they're useless, but they're not actively pushing that envelope forward, right? Because Republicans are like anti-trans legislation, anti-trans this, anti-trans that, passing their, in their states by massive margins and stuff. And then, the Democrats, I guess maybe like one or two have done some stuff to safeguard trans rights, but not much. So it's, it's basically a choice between like, we are actively pursuing an agenda of evil, or like, we're not, but, at least not on that front. But like, it still makes a difference, at least in that one limited way. Whereas, on most of the issues, there's no difference. And so that's like, well, if you vote for Biden, you're supporting the war machine. It's like, yeah, well, you're supporting it anyway, because either way, your tax dollars are going to fund the war machine, and the Republicans ain't going to stop the war machine, and the Democrats ain't going to stop the war machine. The war machine is going to rage on until we destroy the duopoly and destroy the forces of capitalistic incentive that created it in the first place. That's how you stop it. And how you do that? I mean, leave it up to your imagination, I guess.